Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Andrew Deacon from Anything Blows. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. And we're here for the Ellis Zorro Luca Diorzi prediction video, and it's for the WBO European Cruiserweight title. But before we get into it, we've got a stacked card, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%. Great talent, rising stars, a few title fights along with the main event on, and yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we'll just go on what box checks. We've got Sam King, who's a debutant, and he trains alongside Denzel Bentley, Zorro, Chris Bork. Well, in the Peacock gym, you know what I mean. So, and he's got Dwayne Grant over 4 rounds. Dwayne Grant 3 wins, 15 defeats with 1 draw. I'll say some of the people he's been in there with. Hang on. He's fought Jack Cullen, Jack McGann, Dalton Miller, Liam Hunt, Ishmael Davis, James Hennigan, Ryan Kelly, Ryan Woolridge, Ryan Kent, and Carl Fail. So, I mean, and only been stopped twice, and that was to Ishmael Davis and Jack McGann. So 2 good fighters. But yeah, it's on Dwayne Grant's day. Arguably, he dropped, I think it was Fail, but he did well against Fail. He comes to have a go every now and then. It's a good debut for Sam King. Not many people take him on their debut, but I think it should be a 40-36 win for Sam King, and I'm looking forward to seeing Sam King in action, if I'm honest.
Yeah, 100% same as you. I've heard Sam King from other fighters, and yeah, did just realize now he trains at the Peacock as well. I think it's an Epping one, and yeah, he looks good, and I feel like he'll have this 40-36 over Dwayne Grant. As you say, majority of the times, unless I say again the Louis Smithson versus Jake Pollard happened, then they tend to get the victory, especially against the journeyman. It won't be as easy as possible, and it won't be, I don't know if you could get him out of there, but let's see what he has to bring. And it's a middleweight division, so he could get him out of there, but I do see it being a 4-round contest that he wins.
I agree. Then you've got Carl Fail, of course, 9-0, Angel Imalov over 8 rounds in the super welterweight division. Of course, Carl Fail 9-0 with 3 knockouts. Last time out, he was against Frank Marsden in June, which he got a 3rd round knockout. And if you've seen that knockout, I mean, he swept him away.
Yeah.
And he's, in my opinion, and he fought somebody 4-0 on your debut, who's that Jordan Dijon, who is a very good fighter, and he just fights everyone who he gets put across. Very bright talent he is, and of course I'm looking forward to see what he can do in his, well, it's scheduled for 8 rounds, like his last fight, but it'll be interesting to see if he can get it under his tank, whether he tries to get the knockout. Angel, again, he's 11 wins, 52 defeats with 2 knockouts. So, I mean, 2 knockout defeats. Sorry, he's had 11 wins, 7 knockouts, 52 defeats, 3 draws with 2 knockout defeats. And again, he's been in there with Tom Rafferty, Ashton Brown, Hakeem Paul Gordon, Senior Byfield, John Harding Jr., who we got a draw against. I mean, Mason Cartwright, Brad Ray, Challenger, just most up-and-coming people. Sam Antwi, and he hasn't been stopped by any of them. So, I mean, he's one hard man, he is.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your take on it? Because I reckon it'll be a decent test for him. It'd be hard to stop him. I'd like to see Carl stop him. Would he? I don't know, because Angel might, because he did get a knockout win in May, Angel, so he's won 1 out of his last 3, so who knows, he might try go for it. But getting a draw against John Harding, I mean, that's not easy, because John Harding's English level.
Yeah.
Angel's not a bad fighter on his day. He does go for it. Yeah, I reckon Carl will win. Will he stop him? Probably not. I'm saying 17. I reckon 79-73. I reckon I reckon Angel might get around, but if that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is Cole's first 8 rounder, correct me if I'm wrong. So it'll be good for him. Angel, like I said, before you gave all those stats away, I was going to say, I wouldn't call it a whitewash for Cole. I would have liked to see Cole get another knockout. Obviously, Angel, I've seen him. I did watch that John Harding Jr. fight. He's a tough guy. He's a very, very tough opponent. And you know what? He comes to fight, like we say, of all journeymen, apart from those that are there to do their job, do what a journeyman's meant to do. Majority of them do push the pace, like we saw that Bador Kamari kid or Karami against Kyron Jones at York, or even against what's his name, Haji Muis. He gave it his all. So you can never know against these type of journeymen. I would have liked to say Cole Fail would have got a knockout or would have got a stoppage win, but I just don't see it. I would like to see him get a 6th, 7th round stoppage, but first 8-round contest, I think he's gonna bag in the rounds, get the 8th round. 78, 72, like 6 rounds to 2, and then just learn from it. And then I feel like this is his one fight, if not few fights in the 8 rounders before he moves on to title contention.
I agree with you. But I reckon he won't go Southern Area route. I reckon he'll try get a WBC and those WBC silvers sort of. Though one of them, I reckon he'll try and get. Which is still at the end of the day, a title's a title.
Yeah, 100%. And again, it just shows some people can have a Southern Area or English and some can have a WBC. It varies on the level of the individual because some people bypass Southern, like you say, Vidal Riley, he went straight to English. So doesn't mean just because he hasn't gone that route, doesn't mean he can't do it, but they've gone a step ahead.
I agree with you. Then we've got Karol Otumu, who's 10-1 with against Dimitri Fidaz, 8-3, 2 draws. Karol Otumu, of course, 10 wins, 7 knockouts with 1 defeat who he did suffer to earlier this year. But he of course beat Vladimir Pacheski, Jurek Cooper, Ryan Hibbert and Lewis Van Pochen, Sharp and Grander Ella in his last fight, which was at York Hall in May on the Zorro Burton card. And let's talk about his fight early this year on the Yard Butter BF card. It was a bit of a nightmare for him. Sad to see because I am still a big fan, but it was hard to watch because I've rooted for Karol for quite a while. And when did I first watch him? I think when it was his 3rd fight where I first watched him during lockdown. I think it was where I first watched him, and I started watching him ever since and just loved his style. But it was a bit of a shock to me when he lost that fight. I think it was just bad night at the office. Then, when you lose your O, they're like, oh, he's a hype job. He lost to a journeyman. And just start slagging one fighter off due to 1 defeat. I mean, you can't judge a fighter on just 1 defeat when, like, if Johnny Fisher loses, like, 1 fight, I mean, he's knocking out everyone. He loses 1 and they're like, he's not what he was. Because that's what people do, isn't it, nowadays? They judge them.
100%, exactly that. Look, as Jack Hughes has said to me and so many other fighters have said, records are for DJs. Just because someone has 1 loss or several losses or 10 losses. Like, I can't remember his opponent's name. I was there live in the arena. I watched it live. Yard Better be about the OVO in Wembley. Obviously, supporting my guy Yard. But it was a great contest. Obviously, great contest on his opponent's behalf. But I think Karol did start off the 1st or 2nd round strong. And I think it was a 4th or 5th round. He knocked him out. I can't quite remember.
But yeah.
And I just remember Tyson Fury walking in, and then Tyson Fury's walking out. And as soon as I look right, I just see him get knocked out. Because obviously, you want to look at Tyson whilst he's entering the arena. But no, obviously, it wasn't the best performance in the world. But again, like I said, if the winner of Dan Aziz and Joshua Buatsi ends up losing, which we'll get on to another day. But if the winner of that ends up losing, that does not mean they're done. This is the highest of the highs. The opponent that beat Karol ended up going to face Willie Hutchinson, gave Willie a good fight until he knocked him down in the earlier on that Zorro card as well. So yeah, look, with Karol, it's a learning curve. Was it a mistake or a mismatch? Definitely not. Was it a bad day at the office, as you say?
Bad night.
You can never tell bad night. Sorry, you can never tell what's going through the fighter's mind. What I do appreciate and what I do like about Karol is that he's come back even stronger. And I do like the brothers in boxing, which another brother is on. Well, you have the Fail brother. Well, Carl, and then you'll have the Franken brother on there as well, but not the brothers, but you have one of each. So yeah, I do like to see them rising up in the sport.
Good stuff. And he did bounce back against Grandanella. Of course, I was at that fight where he bounced back. I think that was when Zorro knocked out Burton. We'll get onto that fight later, but I mean, but yeah, I was there. He looked cagey. I mean, that's what you would expect after getting knocked out, like especially getting knocked out. First time he really got hit back. Grandanella came to have a go and he was trying to win, but Carroll just stuck to his basics, and I thought he boxed the right fight that night, and he dropped Grandanella as well. And Aziz fought Grandanella recently. Aziz couldn't drop him, so I mean, and look, if Aziz wins his next fight, he's fighting for a world title. You know what I mean? But I thought Carroll boxed the right fight that night, and I think that was a decent test for him. Now he's got Dimitri Fadaz, who's 8-3 again, coming off 3 defeats. I mean, again, Carroll should win, but again, we were saying that he should have beaten that Xerbiev guy. I reckon Carroll will win, and I hope he does as well, because if Carroll wins this, I think just go. Would you say the rematch, or would you look for a rematch next year? I don't know. But in my opinion, I reckon he can beat that guy. On his day, Carroll beats him.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is something like that. Is it something that Carroll wants to revisit, or does he want to move on with his career? Because I feel more than likely after a few good wins, obviously this guy's 8-3, last 3 wins, last 3 fights are losses, but it is a winning record. And I do believe that with a few impressive wins, he could go back into title contention. Regardless of the title that be, he just jumps in the mix straight away. But if he wants to get that out for revenge reasons or whatever purposes to prove people wrong, then yeah, I think he could do that also.
100% he could, and I reckon he'll get a shutout points win. I reckon he'll I reckon he'll get a points win every round quite convincingly. But yeah, hopefully Carroll Tuma gets the win, and I do believe he'll win as well. But if he does win, whether he wants to just no, because I was about to say Southern Arab, but he's, in my opinion, way above Southern Arab.
Yeah.
But
100%.
he is a good fighter, and would like to see him maybe clash into the domestic scene, or just see how he goes, as this is a sort of road to come back. He's still sort of coming back. But possibly next year, try and pick up that WBC silver he was trying to get. I know Willie's got that, but I reckon he'll vacate it soon, so who knows. But Carroll Tuma winning every round for me.
100% same. I'd like to see him get a knockout. I'd like him to finish this guy, but saying this guy's coming off of 3 losses, I don't know. Are they knockout losses or decision losses?
Hang on, let me have a look. Oh, I just clicked on somebody else. Hang on. His last fight was he retired in the corner. So one of them was stoppage defeat, one was majority decision, and one was unanimous.
So in that sense, unless Carroll's got the power that he's never faced before in his career, which I do think Carroll has, I could see Carroll getting him out of there in the later rounds. Is it a 6-round or an 8-round contest, this one?
I do believe it. Yeah, 8.
Yeah, you know what? I could see Carroll getting him out in the 6th round, but again, at the same time, I'm going to go with you because I think being back, I feel like a fight like that does what Joshua Ruiz did to Joshua. So it plays in his mind not to make the wrong mistake. So just play it out stylistically, outbox him, and get a unanimous decision or decision, depending if there's 1 judge or 3.
Yeah, he'll win. He'll win. But yeah, then you've got a real 50-50. I've spoken to both lads before. Joshua Frankham, 8-0. George Davey, 8 wins, 1 draw. 8-round super welter. Fight of the... Actually, maybe that could, or maybe Leach, Masood, Ellis could steal the show. I mean, lots of fighters who could steal the show. Carroll, oh my days. Why am I back to Carroll Tuma? We spoke about his fight. Joshua Frankham, 8-0 with 2 knockouts. Kevin McCauley, I'm just listing the people he's beat, sorry. Kevin McCauley, MJ Hall, Naeem Ali, Perchinich, we'll go on that, where he won round 2. He beat Dario Broza round 3. Naeem Ali on points, Joe Hardy on points, Elgis Parasho on points. George Davey, however, is 8 wins, 1 draw with 1 knockout win. Hang on. Made his debut back in 2019. Yeah. Zajimad Bachichiv. Then he beat Dale Arrowsmith, Jeff Thomas, Jamie Stewart, Dario Brozo, common opponent, Serjan Bomo, who he drew to, Paul Cummings, Matsu Glowacki, Vasiv Mamadov. Yeah. For me, if you look at the resume, I look at I think Davies fought the better opponents, in my opinion. Do you agree on that?
No, 100%. I'll go with you on that because nothing against anyone that goes that way, but I feel like a bit of Joshua's fights, I wouldn't call them easier fights, but they were like build-up fights, whereas his opponent's been in with a lot of tougher guys.
Yeah. He's look, so Jeff Thomas, who he fought in his 3rd fight, was 12 wins, 7 defeats, 3 draws. Not many people do that.
No, of course not. Well,
his chin's been tested as well. Jamie Stewart, who former Midlands champion, he beat him over 6 rounds. His chin has been tested. Serjan Bomo's tested his chin. His chin's been tested, and he's pretty good fighter. He is, and he's slick. He's fast with his hands. Good on the back foot. When he fought on the Zorro card, I was there. Looked very good against Glowacki. At times he had him hurt, and I really thought he was going to stop Glowacki, but he didn't. Glowacki did the journeyman stuff and holding and the tactics that they do. But yeah, again, it says he's not a puncher, but against some of the journeymen and some of the people he's fought are very tough. His draw against Ambomo was a tough one, but it was a good learning fight for him, and I think he's come on a better fighter since that draw. However, Joshua Frankham, again, is quick with his hands. I think he's the cousin of Tyson Fury, so he's
yeah, they are cousins.
Yeah. I think if I'm wrong, I do apologise. He might have the gypsy blood, if you get what I mean.
Possibly, I'm not sure what side they come from, if they're distant cousins or closer cousins, but I'm 100% sure they are cousins in one way or another.
They are cousins.
Yeah, when they talk to Charles, they've mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you've got Joshua Frankham, who's got more knockouts. He's looking good as well, though. I think his only fight, which was slightly a test, was against Joe Hardy, who was 2-4.
I was there to watch that live, and it was great from Joe Hardy. Great contest.
Oh, Joe, mate. Joe loves a good scrap. He does.
Yeah, no, honestly, I remember him fighting 2 of my guys, or 2. Josh ain't my guy. I hope he will be in the near future when I get him on for an interview one day. But he fought my boy Joel Kadua, and yeah, he's a tough test. And at the time, I believe he was only 1-2, so it wasn't a bad record.
Yeah, I know. And Joe came to have a go that night. Joshua Frankham and George Davey. Is there going to be a knockout as they start to fire? They're more of a back foot sort of pressure. They're both fast with their hands. They've got quick hands, and I'll let you think. Who are you picking?
100% Joshua Frankham. Or Josh Frankham on the night, and yeah, 100% him. 100% not sound disrespectful. It's just if you would have given me the 2 names instantly without the build-up, I would have gone there. Again, like you said, his opponent has been in their tougher fights, but I do feel like Joshua Frankham is on that level where he's leveling himself up. He's going towards the top end. Although you mentioned out there, George Davies 295th ranked in the world in super welterweight, and Joshua 725. So it's a major step up, major step up.
So who would you say is favourite going into the fight?
If I'd be very honest, giving me the names now, reading into George Davies, of course I would have said Frankham beforehand, but definitely George Davies, and I think George Davies has a lot to upset, because I feel like Frankham, so to the bookies' eyes and probably to the general public's eyes, I'd say George Davies a favourite, but Joshua Frankham is a rising star. They both are. It's not like he's fighting a journeyman.
with Frank as well, so...
Yeah.
If
You
it
know
goes to
what?
decision, we'll get a fair decision.
Yeah, because yeah, I know what you mean on that end. And yeah, they're not going to do anyone dirty or favor one guy, but I truly believe George Davies is going to be the toughest test of Joshua Frankham's career. But I've
Toughest
heard a
test
lot
for
of
both of them.
yeah, I've heard for both of them, yeah, and I've heard a lot of Frankham from the amateurs and in the pro scene. I've watched him, so I think Frankham's going to do enough to scrap it out and get a decision victory.
I reckon it'll be close. I reckon it'll come down to the wire. I reckon Joshua Frankham will get it, but I like both of them, and I reckon it'll be a close fight, be an entertaining fight. And in my opinion, one of the fights I'm looking forward to quite a few of these, but I'm really looking forward to this one as well. But yeah,
100%.
I reckon Joshua Frankham went 76 to 74, so like 2 points in it. So that means
And it's a 10 round, no, 8 rounder, right?
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I reckon Frankham, but it'll be close, and the better man will win on the night. So good luck to both. That would be an entertaining fight.
100%.
And then you've got Chris Bourke, 12-1 against Adam Mega, who's 11-3 with 1 draw. Chris Bourke, 12-1 with 7 knockouts. He's a super bantamweight, and again, he's beaten Jake Pollard, Ricky Starkey, Ricky Leach, Lewis Norman, Ramez Mahmoud, Marquel Rebletzer, James Beach. Then he suffered his first defeat to Mark Leach on unanimous decision. Then he beat Darwin Martinez, and then he beat Kevin Tranner last time out on the Ellis Zorro card. So quite a few of them do like a good fight on the Ellis Zorro card, don't they?
Yeah, Zorro is becoming a new star favorite or new main man that people are starting to see headline at York Hall. But yeah, I've heard a lot about Chris Burke, and I have him winning this one via decision also.
But you got right. Adam Magba, 11-3, 1 draw, 8 knockouts from Tanzania. We know these Tanzanians are tough.
Yeah. Talking about Tanzanians before James Hawley didn't have his last bout, he was meant to fight one, and he was telling me how tough they are and how tough they come. So meant to fight one with a winning record, and they're like the best ranked in their country. So yeah.
With Chris Bourke, I've been very impressed with him, especially when he beat Mahmoud unanimous, beat Rebletzer, stopped Rebletzer, cruised to a win against James Beach, then lost to Leach, went a bit quiet. But again, that wasn't him. He broke his hand, I think it was in the 3rd round or something. So, but he kept battling, and he rallied some rounds in. But again, we'll get on to Leach in a minute. But he is a good fighter. Again, he like Carol Watuma, getting back on that sort of rebuilding as he beat Darwin Martinez. But I'll tell you what, against Martinez, that round 2, I mean, I was honestly just had my hands like that, and I was like, oh no, he's going to get stopped, because he was in that round 2. Round 1, he was easing. Then he was a bit of showboating a bit. Martinez tagged him a bit, and then he was on the road. But then round 3, he just I was expecting Martinez to get him, but 2 minutes 53, and Bourke just laid it on him. So that was incredible. Then last time out against Kevin Tranner, he just makes it hard. These 2 fights, he's made it hard for himself, because he just loves a fight, he does. But you don't need to do that. Again, he won 58-56, which I thought was fair. But again, you can't be getting into these silly sort of fights with opponents you don't need to be doing it with.
Of course.
But I think after this fight, providing everything goes well, he should be getting back into that title mix at Super Bantam. Oh my days! At Super Bantam with the British domestic scene. Not Liam Davis, of course. No, not Liam Davis. He's not there just yet.
No, not
Liam,
yet.
because Liam's got a European title fight, and Liam will and then Liam's literally near to a world title fight. Maybe a Shabazz Masood or or Andrew Kane, actually. Tell a lie.
Ooh,
Him v Andrew Kane. I would
yeah,
like to see that, if I'm honest.
yeah, and he'll bring down the scouts. Like he's from Liverpool, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that would be... Chris brings the crowd. I would like to see that. But yes, I do believe Bork will win on points. Yeah, but Andrew Kane, then Jack Bateson as well, or Zahid Hussain, the English
Yeah,
champion. But yeah, there is still great fights out there for Chris Bork. But one I would love to see is the Andrew Kane fight.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think Chris Bork has this in the bag.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, I reckon he does. Then he'll try and make it difficult for himself, but hopefully he boxes smart and gets a shutout win and then tries to go for the titles. Because if he makes it 58-56 again, then he might, and then people were like, he's not ready for the titles. He might need another one. So I reckon just try stick to the outside. Just try stay away. Don't make any silly mistakes. Just stick to your boxing and try win all the rounds if you can and make a good statement. Because Bolt can whack as well. But that's
100%. He definitely can. He's a powerful lad, and he trains. I believe he is a Dental Bentley in the Basties
Sam
at Ellis
King
Zorros. Yeah,
and
he's a
Prosper, yeah.
yeah, he's an Epping boy, or Epping Peacock boy.
He is. And you've got Masood Abdullah Mark Leach, featherweight Commonwealth silver title. Of course, we've had Masood on our channels. I've spoke to Mark on
Well, you say we've had him on our channels. My interview with him is not out yet, but it should be out very shortly, just before fight night.
Sorry, a little spoiler, but
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good. Yeah, no correction, but also spoiler. So spoiler alert, and it's an in-person one, so even better.
yeah, it's good, mate. But yes, for the Commonwealth silver title, correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right with that?
No, 100%. I don't know if you phrase it featherweight first, or I don't know if it's featherweight Commonwealth silver, or if you say Commonwealth silver featherweight. I think it's featherweight Commonwealth silver title, but yes.
Well, featherweight Commonwealth silver title. We'll go on that. But yes, over 10 rounds. And before we get into the fight, it's been how do I say it? How do I say it? It's a new belt, really.
Yeah, it goes down the same category of the WBC silver titles. I wouldn't say they're created for no reason, but as of recently, I remember obviously sorry, and Marco winning that, but there are a few fighters that are winning these silver titles, and WBC has insinuated a lot of them recently, because I see it on all of the like Mexican shows and title fights. I see a lot of WBC silver titles like coming up.
Yeah, there's lots of Commonwealth silver fights.
Jack Hughes is fighting for the Commonwealth silver as well.
Yeah, that was one I was going to say, yes. And yes, so Masood Abdullah, 8-0, 5 knockouts. Monster.
Yeah, Masood is a killer, man. Masood, watching him live, obviously, is in his last outing at the January fight at Artabet event in the yard. Just a killer, man. And I was lucky I was able to be there early on in the early doors, because they usually don't open the fights. They'll usually put a fight or two on just for YouTube. But I just entered in a few rounds in, and yeah, it was a great showcase from Masood. And yeah, Masood's had a few cancelled bouts. Obviously, he was meant to fight for a few other titles, but they finally got this one done, and yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I'll mention he stopped Taka B-Men on his debut round 2. Peter Doherty, round 1, who was a 1-0 knockout prospect as well, and he beat him in 40 seconds. Then he fought former Midlands champion Paul Holt, stopped him in round 2, then beat Singh Bhatti, I think he's the Indian champion, round 6. Then he had his first fight that went the distance. I was there. He was disappointed that he didn't get the knockout, but he learned to get these rounds in, and he did as well. And he did well. He did very well. And it was a Bulgarian. The Bulgarian wasn't happy with the decision. I do agree with the decision. I thought it was fair. Bulgarian did come to win. He was good, but I thought Masood 77-75 was fair enough. Masood he's a bit of a puncher, can box as well when he has to. Of course, Stefan Nickel back 4 round. Darwin Martinez, who he dominated, who Bolt struggled with but stopped him. And then Lester Lara, he's a bit of a puncher, isn't he? And then you've got Mark Leach on the other hand. 18 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw with 4 knockout wins. More of a boxer. Last time out though was in June against Liam Davis, which he literally, in my opinion, got dominated. But other than that, he did beat Chris Bork, Thomas Asumba, Kashafak, Scott Allen, Louis Norman. I'll let you start with this one, mate.
Yeah, as you say again, Masood's a killer, man. Masood is one of the greatest. He's one of the best up and coming talents right now in Britain, and he's amazing. He's young as well. And the thing is, I say about Mark Leach has been in there former champions and current champions, as you say, Liam Davis, and I think I can't remember who he's been in there with, but he might have been in there with Louis. The one that Marley Mason was meant to fight on the top tier show before it got changed? Louis Norman. I think he's been in there with Louis Norman as well.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Mate. Who?
Yeah. Mark Leach. I believe Mark Leach has been in there with.
Louis Norman. Yeah, Thomas Asumba as well. Kashas Fat.
Yeah.
Borg as well, who he's beat as well. So.
Yeah, look, it's a tough list of guys. As I say, the undefeated record. Don't read too much into it. Just because Masood's undefeated doesn't mean that he's this. As with every kid that's undefeated, doesn't mean they're gonna do great. As you see, people with 1 loss or 2 loss,
like
Denzel Bentley as well. Look at Denzel Bentley. Yeah, Kyle Tuma, you're right. Again, who am I going to favour this fight?
Sorry. I said when Bentley lost to Cash, how he's come on since that fight is incredible. And you look at where Cash is now, and Bentley's gone up since that. And it's funny how. It's not funny, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's great what loss can do.
Bentley stock has improved, and then Felix Cash, in my opinion, his career's gone a bit downwards.
Yeah. Well, because he was meant to fight on that Jermaine Franklin card against a Signani opponent. I think he was Italian, and he was meant to fight.
And now Denny's fighting. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I believe that's the guy. Denny is fighting for a title as well in Wolves in November the 18th. And there's so many fights you can do more predictions on in the near future. But in terms of this fight, with every single title fight it comes down to, it will always be the fighter's toughest test of their career, unless they're put in with someone that isn't the biggest that they faced before. Let's say they faced another guy or another opponent, male or female, whoever, what division it may be. If there was a bigger name before a title fight, then there's a big name, but I feel this is the biggest test for Masood. But again, Masood's a killer. He's been out for so long, and he's been in training camp since the end of that January fight against Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde. So again, man, if I had to go, Mark Leach is not someone to be underestimated, but is this the perfect time for Masood? I believe so, and he's going to win his first title. I believe he'll win the first title, but respect to Mark Leach and respect to Masood, and I've got Masood Abdullah winning this fight via decision and new featherweight Commonwealth silver featherweight champion.
Masood, of course, knockout artist, but can box as well. Leach, of course, he's fought at super bantamweight, but it's interesting to see because loads of fights have been cancelled for him as well. But would ring rust play a factor? Who knows in this fight? But Leach normally has upsetted people in the featherweight division. Cash Ashfat knocked him down twice. He's a bit of an upsetter. He likes going to the back. He loves going to people's backyards and upsetting them. I think if I was a pro boxer, who wouldn't love going to somebody else's backyards and trying to be beating? I think that would be, for me, that would just be something special. But Leach is very good. He can box. Last time got outclassed, but I would like to see how he's improved since that fight. It'll be interesting as, again, he moves back up to featherweight, whether he's happy at that weight, maybe if he's made that comfortable enough. Masood always has been there. He's strong. Masood's strong at the weight. I think Leach is hoping that it goes past the first 5. I think Masood will try put it on him early, or would he be careful as Leach is a bit of a counter puncher, awkward, Is he a southpaw? Hang on, let me have a look. I think, yeah, he is a southpaw. 5'6" southpaw. But
Yeah,
it will
got 5
be.
minutes, bro.
Sorry, but
Got
yeah,
5 minutes. No, you're good. You're good. Just got 5 minutes. Go.
he's a bit. Yeah, he's awkward. He's tough. But again, it's interesting to see how this one will go. I reckon Masood will win on points. I reckon it'll be tight. But I reckon Masood will get the job done.
And just because my phone keeps buzzing, but just before we move on to the main event, you talk about ring rust. That's one thing, fair play, but he has been in camp for a while. But also, this fight night has been postponed by 3 weeks. Sorry, it should have been 3 weeks ago, so that could play a little bit of a factor. But let's see who it betters, and yeah, I'll let you get on to the main event.
Good stuff. So you've got Ellis Zorro, 16-0, beast, especially his last knockout. Against Luca, the Italian Luca Zorro, 17 wins, 3 defeats, with 4 knockouts. First time, really. Don't know much about this Italian. I think it's just another. I don't really know, but Ellis Zorro should beat him, and he should stop him. Again, like his brutal knockouts in the wars he's always in, I reckon he'll take it to this guy. Round 5 knockout, and still WBO champion Ellis Zorro. I reckon round number 5 for Zorro.
100%. I don't think it's going to be. Oh, look, this is going to sound rough because I am backing Ellis Zorro. I am supporting Ellis Zorro. The thing is, with his opponent, and it comes down to the individual, because you could be a former champion or you could even be a world champion. You can get knocked out in the first round. So Luca Ortenzi, I believe is his name, without trying to butcher it too much.
Yeah, he hasn't been stopped.
Italian, 17-3. He is also the former IBF cruiserweight world champion. So to have an IBF title isn't a worst thing in the world. Not isn't a worst thing. Of course, it's something very good, and it's notable. It puts your name up there, gives you a world ranking. What do I say about this opponent? I don't think it's Ellis's hardest test. Of course, it's a former champion, but Hosea was also a former champion in a weight below. That's the thing as well. The Hosea fight, Hosea was coming up. He's not a natural cruiserweight where Ellis is. And that was a brutal knockout. He just played him down and just destroyed him, man. He got him out of there. Do I think 5th round knockout? I'm not going to think 5th round knockout. It's either going to be... I think it's either going to be early, or he's going to do the same what he done to Hosea. I'd like him to get him out of there in 3-4 rounds. I would. And I can see it happening. Just as I said, I don't think the camp has been a difference to them. Maybe it has a little bit, but as he said to me on my interview, for 3 weeks, it's not as bad, because if it was 3 months or 2 months, then it would have been a big difference. Again, this Luca Ortenzi guy, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched him. I've just searched him on BoxRec, and I've just seen he's won a world title, IBF title, sorry. So if I had to give you my prediction for this one, I want to say Ellis Zorro 4th round knockout, just beating you on that one, not beating you, but obviously I'm going to go sooner with Ellis. But I feel it's going to be one of these fights when you put like someone in with the biggest test of their career. Let's say, I don't know, 2 names that have been in with the biggest test of their career. Let's say Alfie Winter and Devassi, no disrespect to either man, and you say, oh, this is going to be a 50-50 fight. It's going to be a very, very close fight, and then Inder wipes him out in the first round. So I genuinely do believe that it's going to be a very close fight, and it's one of the toughest of Ellis's professional career, because he's a natural cruiserweight, but he has been in the harder cruiserweights, and obviously Dex Bellman, so many other guys, and I just believe he's got this in a 4th round by knockout.
And yeah, well, we'll do a fight reaction either Friday or Saturday. But yes, thank you for your time, mate. And make sure you subscribe to Anything Blows, and enjoy the rest of your day.
And yeah, I would have preferred to stay on a little bit longer, but I have got a few interviews, and Newcastle Paris is on the background on my TV in the Champions League. So yeah.
What's the score?
Still 0-0.
Okay, good stuff, mate. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you too, Sam. Obviously would have loved to keep it a little longer and give you a little bit more breakdown, but got an interview. Look, I'm sacrificing a football for an interview as well, so that's
it's
something
good,
I wouldn't
mate.
say.
It's all good. Don't worry. Thank you for your time. Bye.
No, you too. God bless. Take care.
Bye, guys.